Good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. We are back once again for another live stream on the channel. I hope you are all good indeed. Of course, a big game coming up in just a moment's time as Portugal take on Germany. And again, as Group F has certainly done so far, it has brought some surprises. And as you'll have seen earlier with the game that Rowan was watching, Hungary against France, that is the first real shock of the tournament. A big point for the Hungarians, although they are going to have a really tough task of getting through with the -3 goal difference they've got. To get a result against France and the world champions is certainly a good feat indeed. But we've got a game coming up here between Portugal and Germany. It's going to be an absolute cracker, this one. Remember, if Portugal do win today, they will be guaranteed a spot in the round of 16. If Germany do win, then they, of course, will pretty much be in a fairly solid situation to maybe make the round of 16 themselves. But they would have to get a win today. A defeat or a draw, and it probably most likely means that Germany are going to be hoping that they can finish in the third place position and most importantly go through on goal difference, because that is going to become very key with how most of the groups are looking over the last match day. But how are we all doing? Welcome along to the stream. Hope you are all good as always. It is me once again, Josh, covering this game today, and we are now at that stage of the competition where this is the last kind of two games of the match days where they're just singly separate group matches, because after today we will be going into fixtures where they're together. Two games will be played at once, which is a real shame, of course, because it does mean you're probably going to have two screens up at once to watch the games. But, of course, they have to be played like that to make sure that everybody makes sure that they go and get played at the same time, so there's no match fixing or whatever it is these days. But both teams coming out for this game, and I think if you are the Germany side, you will feel a little bit of optimism to the fact that France did drop points today. And although France are sat on 4 points and much more comfortable than the Germans are on 0 points, a win today would really put them in a very good position to take us down to that last match day for the fight for third and second. Of course, it's a brilliant game to end off between France and Portugal, which would be a very good match indeed, a repeat of that World Cup 2018 final to see who goes through. But otherwise, we've got Portugal versus Germany, which just kick off in 5 minutes, and we will go through the lineups in a second. But if you are new to the stream and you haven't left a like or a subscription on the channel yet, then I highly recommend doing so. We are pushing towards 2,300 subscribers, and we are covering the majority of the tournament as much as we possibly can. So do stick around and join us for our watch-alongs, because we've got lots of very entertaining games to come, including the round of 16, which starts in just a few days' time. Looking forward to it. But Kyle is in the building. How are you doing, Kyle? Hope you're good as always, my friend. He's put afternoon all. Can see a really good game here. Want Germany to win, but I don't see it. 3-0 Portugal. And yeah, I agree with you. I think before I make my prediction, I think what we saw with Germany in that game against France was a very lethargic performance. It wasn't the most entertaining game for them, and although they had their chances here and there, the gulfing class between the German side and the French side on that specific match, they were levels above the French side. And I just think today that although Portugal did struggle at first to get something against Hungary, and it took them till the last 10 minutes of the match to get something, I'm pretty sure today they'll be in a position where they'll just want to make sure that a similar situation doesn't happen so they can get themselves through to the round of 16. But let's take a look at the lineups, and we start off with the Portugal lineup today, and it's pretty much unchanged from their original game against Hungary. The 4-2-3-1 for the Portuguese side. Rui Patricio is in goal. Nelson Semedo and Rafael Guerreiro, who did score the first goal of that match against Hungary a few days ago, is in the left back and right back positions, with Pepe and Ruben Dias as the two centre backs. Danilo Pereira and William Carvalho, they are the pivot midfielders who are no doubt going to be doing the work at the back and in the midfield for Portugal today. They were brilliant in that last match against Hungary. And then, of course, Bruno Fernandes is in the central attacking midfield position. Diogo Jota, who I have to say struggled in that game against Hungary. He'll be hoping for a better match today. He's on the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva, who, of course, didn't do much either in that game against Hungary. He is once again trusted in this match on the right-hand side And then the man of the moment, the man of the hour, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, scored 2 goals in that game against Hungary, and it wasn't even his best game, but he's up top, and no doubt he will be hoping today that he can bag a few goals against the Germans. And on the bench, not really any changes from the bench previously. You can see Andre Silva and Rafa, 2 players that did come on in that last match on the bench. Gonçalo Guedes as well is on there, and Pedro Gonçalves of Sporting. Hopefully we'll see a few of those players. João Felix misses out today, which is a real shame, because I think Felix, to not even be in the squad, is a real shame, and just shows the sheer class and quality of depth that Portugal have. As for Germany, they're lining up today with the same team that faced off against France, a 3-4-2-1. Manuel Neuer is in goal with Rudiger Ginter, and the man who scored the only goal of that game against France, Mats Hummels, in the back line. Gosens and Kimmich are the wide midfielders. Expect them to be overlapping throughout the majority of the game, with Kroos and Gundogan both staying in their midfield positions. What annoys me the most about this team, and I'll talk about it more in a second, Thomas Muller as the left forward, Serge Gnabry up top as the striker, and Kai Havertz as the right forward. And I'll come back to that point in a second, because I think you'll already know the point I'm going to make in a second to what I don't like about this German squad. It's Gnabry playing as the striker and Muller playing as the wide forward. I'll talk about that in a second, but you can see on the bench the likes of Volland, who came on, Werner and Sane, Goretzka as well, who's there. He picked up an injury before the tournament and he's okay, which is good to see. So there is an opportunity to maybe see him come and play at some point. But as I said before, for me, that German side, the one point that annoys me a lot is the lack of playing Thomas Muller as the striker. Now, it's a very minuscule thing. But I much prefer Thomas Muller in a game like this as the striker. Gnabry on the left-hand side, can cut in, use his skills, use his pace, take on a man. I think we will see Muller play a little bit more as a forward in the game, and both players alternating positions as time goes on. I think we saw that in that match against France, of course. But we'll have to see what happens here, because this is a game full, again, of world-class stars. And as Germany probably had the hardest run of the 3 teams in this group, they have to face the 2 big dogs first and then face Hungary last, which is probably not the way out of any of the 3 nations in this group you would have wanted to have played these fixtures out. You'd have preferably wanted someone like a Hungary in your first or your second game, just to put you in a much better position. But as we said before, if Germany lose today, I'm pretty sure they are going to be staring at potentially being knocked out of the tournament, because 3 points is looking like it's, depending on how things go on the last match day, might not be enough in some cases. But 3 points, you never know. If they could get a few goals in this match and get a win, then it'll be a much different situation in terms of the match itself. But I know you said in the chat, Kyle, about whether or not Portugal could finish top with a win today, as you said before. Of course, with them playing France on that last match, it is a little bit different. And hopefully we have a brilliant game as we do get underway with this match. Do put your score predictions on the chat, or in the chat at the very least. And I'm going to go for this game. I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1 to Portugal. I think it is going to be one of those games where Portugal look very confident coming into this. And I would also say Germany looked a little bit lethargic in that last match. And they've got to hope here, in a game like this, with the star quality that they've got, that they can get off on the right start. It will be a ball into the box from Kai Havertz, into the path of Serge Gnabry, but it doesn't get to him. And unfortunately, the chance goes wide of the mark for Germany, as Havertz does give a foul away in the early exchanges of this match. But no doubt it will be an end-to-end game at points. Let's not lie. Portugal did have the moments in that game against Hungary where they did allow the home side to have opportunities. And as we saw today with France, Hungary were known as the whipping boys of the group. And when you actually look at it, of course, Portugal's 3-0 win is a good comprehensive result. But it did take them 80 minutes to break them down. And I think Hungary have been very good and well organised at the back. And depending on what happens here in this game, and how Germany get off at the end of this match day 2, I do genuinely see maybe another shock on the cards, and maybe Hungary stealing a point or 3 points away from Germany, which is a shame that they conceded 3 against Portugal, because as we said before, goal difference will be key. And they could get 4 points still and finish 3rd if they were to beat Germany, but whether or not it will be enough is all going to depend on the goal difference, which they would need to, of course, beat Germany, and then they might go maybe down to -2 goal difference, which I think even then, depending on how all the other groups go, might just be enough. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. As for Germany, though, it is a transitional period, isn't it? You know, this is the last tournament for Joachim Löw, who is going to be leaving, and we will see the new manager, Hansi Flick, take charge, which is going to be very interesting because his first actual game in charge will be the World Cup qualifiers in September. So we won't actually have much longer to wait before Hansi Flick is officially revealed and we actually get to see him, because it's a very quick turnaround in terms of the games coming up for all of the international teams, especially with the World Cup qualifiers to still be played. We had a long break between the last games, which were played, I think, at the end of last year, I think they were. Well, 3 minutes in here, and it's Germany who started off on the front foot. Very controlled start to the game, and they have to make sure today that they don't allow any opportunities to Mr. CR7 up top. We know now he is the all-time European Championship top scorer after getting his 2 goals against Hungary in that match a few days ago. And they've got experienced enough players at the back to be able to defend against a player of his quality, but we'll have to see whether or not. Here come Germany, though. It's going to be Ginter on the ball into Rudiger. And it has been a lot of the ball on the left-hand side of the field in this first 4 or so minutes of the match for Germany. With Havertz and Gnabry looking like he is on the left-hand side, with Muller playing as the striker, which is what I wanted to see. All 3 players, no doubt, will alternate positions. I think they can all play as strikers when needed to. Even Havertz, we've seen him before at Chelsea, play a little bit more of an advanced role. And here is Muller, trying to come forward. Calls for a handball, which haven't been given. Ball lofted into the box towards Gnabry! And just like that, it's a goal for Gnabry at the near post for Germany. And whether this gets checked or not, because of the handball shout from Muller, but I think it was actually Gosens who got the last touch in the end. And I think there's a hint of offside here. And I think it looks like he's going to be given as offside. And obviously, let's see this back on the replay. Of course, the first shout was for the handball on Muller, which I think would have been given. The second goal shout is for offside, which Gnabry isn't offside. Good, really good finish from Gosens. But I think it's going to be the handball, which is going to be given here for Thomas Muller. And the goal is looking like it's going to be ruled out. And it's an interesting one. I mean, Peter Walton is saying it isn't a handball. And I guess, obviously, it depends what the referee says here. But 2 different calls of offside and handball. And the goal is disallowed, not for the handball, but for the offside. And unfortunately for Germany, it will not be 1-0. And I thought either way, realistically, whether it was going to be given as a handball or as an offside, it did look like there was a very slight hint. And although at first I said it wasn't, when you actually look back at the replay, which I've just seen again, it is just marginally offside. And in the end, a little bit of a let off the hook there, isn't it, for Portugal, who were completely opened up then. And here are Germany again, trying to get the ball to that man Gnabry. And the ball will go out of play for a throw-in for Germany. And a very good bright start here for the away side, who are, of course, at home today. So they are the home side, realistically. But no doubt, if you're a German or Portuguese fan, what an opportunity it is to watch a game of this quality. You know, 2 of the top sides of world football playing off against each other. Here is Serge Gnabry at the edge of the box. He's taking on his man. Still got the ball. He's on the far-hand side, Gnabry. Played into the path of, I think it was Gosens again, who was making the marauding run forward. He's been a real menace in this first 5 or so minutes. And in the end, it is one of those where Germany looking very, very dangerous. And as Carlos said in the chat, not a handball, nothing else he can do. And then, as I said a moment ago, offside is correct because Gnabry was interfering with play. So unlucky. But in the end, from the 2 decisions that were made, I think it was inevitable that one of them was going to eventually end with the ball not being in the back of the net and being disallowed. But that's exactly what's happened. And the warning signs are there for Portugal. Long ball towards the path of Bruno Fernandes, who I think is offside. Comes towards Diogo Jota. And in the end, the flag does go up for Fernandes, who was miles offside from what you could see. And of course, I hate this rule of play being continued. It's these types of situations where you can clearly see the player is quite far offside. And I would just want to raise the flag, but obviously, we know early with the chance that Gnabry had, it is one of those situations where those types of moments, yes, don't put the flag up. Here's Gosens. Tries to flick a ball into Gnabry, who has been very lively in these first 5 or so minutes on that left-hand side and up top. As Rowan says, come on, Germany, hoping that the Germans can get themselves a victory. And they've started much better than the Portuguese have. In fact, when you actually look at the stats for the first 10 minutes, it is pure German domination in this game. They have had pretty much the majority of the ball in this game. In fact, to give you the actual stats as they load up, 76% possession of the ball has been with Germany in that first 10 or so minutes. As a little bit too heavy of a pass there from Gnabry into the path of Ginter, who, I'll tell you something, has definitely had a fair share of the ball in the first kind of 10 or so minutes, Ginter. We know with it being a 3-back formation, they're going to allow a little few more opportunities for the centre-backs to push up, but got a chance here maybe for Havertz, who has the ball rebounded. Rui Patricio doesn't collect the ball. Gnabry puts the ball into the middle of the box. Muller's not there. It will come back to Germany again. Here's Kimmich into Gundogan, and again, another moment in the game where Portugal have been under the cosh. Ball lobbed in by Ginter. Comes towards Muller, who can't chest it down. And eventually Portugal clear it away. And they will get a free kick. Foul on Ronaldo. And I'll tell you something. Germany, with a very good start to this match in comparison to how they played against France. It is a much better performance in this game. And again, it was a long-range effort taken on by Havertz. Rui Patricio parries it. And not far enough. Gnabry tries to get the ball. And in the end, Patricio has to gamble by putting an arm out. And of course, we've seen before, I think once or twice, at the Euros. I think in that Ukrainian game a few days ago, we've seen a few goalkeepers make mistakes or parry the ball and have to come out and gamble and maybe give away a penalty. But Rui Patricio not afraid there to try and get himself out. And we know he's been linked with a move to Roma. And hopefully he will get that move very, very soon. But here come Portugal for what is their first real spell of possession in that game. It's going to be a ball from Guerreiro, the goal scorer, scored in that match, didn't he, against Hungary. A really, really fantastic finish, although it did take a heavy deflection. And again, the ball's just cleared away by Ginter. Long ball towards Havertz, who goes down from the foul of William Carvalho. And it's very stop-start, isn't it, for Portugal? When they get the ball, they don't seem to get anything going. Here is Ginter into Kimmich. He's going to switch the play to Gosens on that left-hand side. What can they do here? Here's Toni Kroos. Now to Gosens, who's in the side of the box on the left wing. Back to Kroos again with a shot, and it's a good deflection by Ruben Dias to get the ball away from his goal, and a very good slide tackle. And now Portugal will come forward for what could be their first chance of the game. It is Diogo Jota on that left-hand side. He'll play it back to Rafael Guerreiro. And Portugal really having to slow the play down when they've got the ball. We know, of course, it's a very different game to what they had against Hungary. They're not going to be able to play with the enigmatic pace that they'd like. But every time they get the ball, they've really slowed it down. And they haven't so far been able to break the German backline down whatsoever. And maybe that is a problem for Portugal. Usually the quick, free-flowing football. You know, all the goals we saw were quite fast-paced. Here's Germany again. It's Havertz. Into Muller. Back to Havertz on the right wing. Doesn't get the best touch in the world by the Chelsea forward. And William Carvalho. Thought he got a free kick there for Portugal. Has been given in the end. And Portugal get the ball back with Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. And eventually, they've just hoofed the ball up the pitch to absolutely no one. And Ronaldo has had absolutely nothing to do in this game so far, 12 minutes in. They've kept him very quiet. Here's a long ball to Kimmich. Volley taken on from the outside of the box by Muller. And he didn't really test Rui Patricio there. And we're just seeing that again. Joshua Kimmich might have been maybe a hint of just being onside. As Louis says, if Germany had a clinical finisher like Werner, they'd be winning easy. Do you mean if they had Timo Pukki? If they had Pukki, then Germany would have a few goals in the back of the net by now. No, jokes aside, how are we doing, Louis? Hope you're good, mate. Hope you're good, buddy. Portugal on the ball, though, for now. It's going to be Pepe. Back to Rui Patricio. And the ball hoofed up the pitch. And only into the path of Joshua Kimmich, who's lofted the ball on to Gnabry, heads it down, trying to get it to Havertz at the edge of the box. It's going to come towards Muller. Marauding run by Kimmich into the box. Muller goes in for the slide tackle, gets the ball. Kimmich on the right wing. Ball eventually cleared by Pepe. And out for a Germany corner. And all this domination of possession, you just feel here, they've got to capitalise upon. Because they've had the chances, but they've not taken them so far. And you feel like it'll only be a matter of time before Portugal get into this game. So corner here for Germany. Corner lobbed in. Comes out to the edge of the box. And now there's a chance here for Portugal to break. It's going to be Bernardo Silva on that right-hand side. Ball lobbed towards Jota. Brilliant touch by Jota towards Ronaldo! And just like that, smash and grab from Portugal. And 15 minutes in, it just proves what we said before. Germany needed to take the chances. And Cristiano Ronaldo, time and time again, has been the man that has saved Portugal. And look, we're only 14 minutes in, but it comes from the Portugal corner. And when the break comes on from Bernardo Silva, he does so well on the right-hand side. He sees the run of Diogo Jota, who is onside. He takes a brilliant touch in the box. And Ronaldo, of course, sheer world-class quality, times his run intricately well, so he's behind the ball and onside. And it's a simple tap-in for Ronaldo. And that is a masterclass in counter-attacking. 1-0 Portugal, and CR7 is now leading the Golden Boot charge with Patrick Schick with 3 goals. And Germany, as we said a moment ago, as Louis put in the chat, if you have a clinical finisher in that situation, you would have had the ball in the back of the net. But 1-0 to Portugal. And against the run of play, they have the goal. And well, we know in the Euros, a lot of the time, when they've come up against teams in the Euros, especially over the last 2 tournaments, they've had some dogged games and rough matches. It's been a tough start to this one. But Germany now, after all the hard work in the first 15 minutes, are going to have to somehow change something up here, because they've dominated the game, but the one chance Portugal have had, they've taken, as the ball will go out of play for a Portugal throw-in. And as Louis said, Pukki hasn't scored yet, just because he wants Schick to get Golden Boot so they can be strike partners next season at Norwich. Hopefully it's not the other way around, and hopefully it's not Pukki gonna Leverkusen, because it'd be nice to have Pukki at Norwich next season, wouldn't it? He's got to play it nice, hasn't he, Pukki, for everyone? It'd be unfair if he took the Golden Boot from anyone else. He's got to be nice. He's got to share it. Or at least give someone a chance. Here's Germany, though. It's going to be an Abri. Ball towards the path of Tony Kroos, but the pass is just a little bit too heavy in the end. And that'll be the shock for German fans. Obviously, a lot of them in the stadium today, game being played in Germany. They'll be very, very surprised at the fact that they've gone 1-0 down in the game. And I will give credit to Jota, because in that last game against Hungary, and I gave him a lot of slack in that game because he played really bad, in my opinion. It was a very poor display. But in that one opportunity that they had on goal and hit on the break, the touch he made in the box, the run was timed perfectly, the touch was brilliant, the pass to Ronaldo was simple, it was open, there was no one there. And in the end, a very, very well-worked goal for Portugal. As here come Germany. Ball towards Gosens, who takes the shot on at the near post. And it's a simple save for Rui Patricio. But he has been tested in this first 15 or 20 minutes. And that's the second or third time we've seen Gosens in the game. Very similar position to where we took the shot on for the original disallowed goal. But you just feel here that maybe this game isn't done yet in terms of goals before the first half finishes. You know, we're not even halfway through yet. And you just feel there'll be a few more chances for Germany. Here's Kai Havertz at the edge of the box. Into Joshua Kimmich. Now to Havertz, who's inside the box, tries to take on Dias. Eventually, in the end, it'll be given as a Portugal free kick. And Louis saying Messi hiding in Euros once again. Oh, honestly. Ronaldo hiding in Copa America. Rowan saying this group's needs a Germany win. Yeah, I think for the neutral, it definitely needs a Germany win. It really does. I think for the neutral, you want Germany to win to make this very exciting for the last few match days. But or the last match day, at least. But obviously, Portugal here today, just doing all they need to get themselves into the next round. And they've not had to do anything yet in this game. It was just that one opportunity from the break. And fair play to them. They took it, as there might be another chance here. Ball played back. Bernardo Silva running onto it. And Neuss just had to clear it. And apologies, I'm fixing up myself a drink. So I do apologise. Here is Ronaldo, though. Taking what would probably be one of his first touches. Apart from the actual goal itself. Not really seen much of him in the actual phase of the first 20 minutes, apart from the tap-in for the goal. But that's a credit to him. You don't need to see Ronaldo to know that he's going to bag. It's Rui Patricio's kicked the ball out of play. And Jogi Löw has got up out of his seat for the first time to say a few words to what would be a slightly surprised German side that they've not got anything here so far. And I wonder in the future, and this is an interesting talking point actually, with when Jogi Löw does leave, and we do see Hansi Flick take charge of Germany, I'll be very interested to see which players Flick decides to play and which ones he doesn't. Because obviously there's a few players in the German squad that are missing out, that are on the bench today, that, of course, some of them aren't fully fit, like Goretzka. Some of them aren't playing, like Werner. Some of them aren't even here. Jerome Boateng, for example. I think there are some players which Hansi Flick will be looking at and thinking to himself, I wonder if I'm going to maybe bring them into the squad, or if there's somebody on the bench that he thinks is of high quality, whether he wants to bring them in, because you do look at that team and you think to yourself, they are missing a clinical finisher. You know, they've got Muller, who can certainly put the ball into the back of the net. But I always think to myself, he works better in the attacking midfield role, where he can get the ball out and he can play it into the striker, or he can chip balls over the top to the wingers. You know, that's why he's got so many assists in the past in the Bundesliga, as there's a chance here for Ronaldo to break. Lovely back heel to Bruno Fernandes. And there's a ball here to Jota at the edge of the box. Jota takes the shot on, and that will take a deflection. And just, I think, no, doesn't keep it in play. No, it's gone out of play for a corner for Portugal. And again, the work of CR7 there to get the ball into Jota with the back heel. That is brilliant, brilliant work from him. That is beautiful, beautiful trickery. Sheer class from CR7. Doesn't even look at the pass as well. Whereas the corner's taken short. Ball lobbed into the box. It's going to come towards the near post, and so nearly. It could have been another chance for a second goal in the game. This time Ruben Dias at the near post. He was a ball lobbed in from Rafael Guerreiro, and it was CR7 and Ruben Dias both in a similar position. And I wonder there if Ronaldo had got the touch of the ball, whether his angle was a little bit better for a header than Dias's. But I think in the end there, Ruben Dias probably should do a little bit better with the header. And we spoke a few times throughout this Euros where we've seen headers where players should do better. John Stones, for example, last night, who should have scored with his header in the first half. And another let off for Germany. Here they come though, Germany. Kroos to Kimmich on the right wing. What can Kimmich do? Having a really tough battle against Rafael Guerreiro. Ball flicked into the box. Doesn't get to anyone in the end. And Guerreiro will clear his lines. Of course, Guerreiro and Kimmich coming up against each other at Dortmund and Bayern Munich respectively. So no doubt they both know each other very well from previous experiences in the Bundesliga. As we are going to get the German throw-in. They've passed the ball really well, Germany, so far. It's got a good pace to the game. But I think the one worry, and we've already seen it, is that when the ball is given away, they look very, very dangerous on the counter-attack, Portugal. As Germany are going to get a corner here. Ruben Dias has just had to kick the ball out of play. And it was Ginter's cross again for the third or fourth time. Ginter's been whipping good balls into the box. And Dias has to clear the ball out of play. And it's going to be a corner here, which Toni Kroos will take. So second German corner of the game. Kroos to lob it in. It comes towards the path of Ginter, but cleared away by Dias. It'll come back to Serge Gnabry again on the right wing. Who's going to try and take on his man. Guerreiro. Done really well. And he fizzes a really quality ball into the left-hand side of the near post. But nobody's there to get a touch on the ball. And Serge Gnabry looked very, very dangerous in this game. And his glancing cross very nearly lands into the path of Mats Hummels. But Mats Hummels there just half a second, I think, early with the header. And so unfortunate there to just not get himself an opportunity. We are going to have a drinks break here. And a chance for the players to have a quick moment to go to their managers, have a quick drink, and have a tactical team talk. Because the weather, of course, in Germany is very warm today. You can see how hot it is. Even Ronaldo is having to pour a full bottle of water over his head. But while there is a quick drinks break, gives us an opportunity to quickly show you what's coming up on the channel over the next few days. As you can see, of course, we've still got the first half of Portugal versus Germany, which will continue after that quick drinks break, which is going on right now. Matchday 3 begins tomorrow. You can join Rowan and Kale for Italy, Wales and Switzerland, Turkey. Should be an interesting end to Group A. We've got North Macedonia and Netherlands, as well as Ukraine against Austria. You can join me for Ukraine, Austria, and I think Rowan will be joining us for Macedonia and Netherlands. We've got Group B action on the 21st of June as Finland take on Belgium and Russia take on Denmark in Group B. And then, of course, Group D, Czech Republic, England, Croatia, Scotland. That is on the 22nd of June. It'll be myself and Rowan for those two games. Do stick around for Matchday 3 because we have got lots of brilliant games to come. Really, really exciting matches as we end what is going to be a very interesting group stage, is what I'll say. Not the most enjoyable of group stages in Euros or World Cups. As I said before, there's been a lot of good games. There's only been one belter, which was the Netherlands-Ukraine match. And of course, there's still time. You know, we're going into that last match day. We could be in for some very exciting final games. And we'll have to see, of course. We've still got another game tonight. We've got Spain-Poland, which has got potential to be an interesting match. And we've still got a long way to go in this game as William Carvalho drives forward. He's pushed down by Kai Havertz. And a free kick is given here for Germany. Portugal. And maybe an opportunity here to make the most of something from a set piece. And it's the right decision in the end by the referee. Havertz just shoving Carvalho down. It is a very, very a good decision. And we'll have to see whether they can make something here from it or not. So it's going to be Guerreiro and Fernandes stood over it. But who's going to take it? They're just having a little moment here to just talk about what they're going to do. It looks like it's going to be Guerreiro who takes it, which it is. Guerreiro takes it, lobbed towards the path of Diogo Jota, who gets, I think, a touch on the ball. It's a heavy, heavy touch. And in the end, not the greatest free kick in the world. In terms of the header, at the least. The cross was pretty good. Germany will get the ball back. And push up the pitch again. It's going to be Gundogan. Into Toni Kroos, who I've got to say have both been fairly quiet in the midfield so far. Not had much to do in the game. A lot of the play has been down the left and the right hand side. Here is a chance though. Kimmich with an opportunity on the right hand side. Lots of space. Puts a ball into the box. And I thought for a second that somebody got the touch. But Kimmich's cross was actually just a little bit too close to Rui Patricio, which allowed him to make a fairly simple save as Germany look to come forward again. Here's Gundogan into Gosens on the left-hand side. Lobs a ball into the box and there's no one there. Bruno Fernandes clears. And Ronaldo might have got a chance here for Portugal to break. But he's well defended by Rudiger and Ginter, who both do very well to double up on their man and get the ball back for Germany. Or they're saying that it will be a Portugal throw-in as Gosens tried to keep the ball in play. But yeah, we've got some very good games still to come. Of course, Kieran L covering that match tonight between Spain and Poland. I will be jumping in and out of the stream like I usually do. But no doubt that should be a pretty good game tonight between two high quality sides. Of course, Poland not having the best of starts to life at the World Cup after losing to Slovakia. So they desperately do need to go out there and get a win today. As for Spain, I mean, for them, they need to get a win as well because with the way that the group is looking, it could be quite a grandstand finish to Group E. So we'll have to see. Of course, that comes up later tonight. Ball lobbed into the box by Muller. Kai Havertz just keeps the ball in play. It's going to be headed by Ginter outside the box. Headed then by Bruno Fernandes, who gets the ball up the pitch. And it'll come back to Germany again here. Going to be Kimmich with the back heel. With the ball laid towards Muller. Comes towards Gnabry, who's got through. Gets pushed in the box. He's calling for a penalty. But it's actually going to be given, I think, as a Portugal free kick in the end. And I think Pepe, they're getting a bit of a warning as well from the ref because of an indication for a yellow card to come out. But it will be, yes, a rightly given free kick to Portugal. I think both the studs go into Ruben Dias there. And good decision there by the referee today, who rightly gives it. And, well, you can see the reaction of some of the fans in the crowd. Not happy whatsoever with the fact that the referee's given the free kick to Portugal. But it's a very weird game because we know here, with the way that this game's panned out, that Portugal really haven't had any chances. I'm saying any, they've had one or two, but it's just been German domination. But you just feel that Portugal are more likely to score. And every single time they get the ball and push up the field, they look very, very dangerous. And that is the problem that Germany have. Although saying that, there could be a chance here for Germany. Ball squeezed into the path of Thomas Muller, who does have to slide for it. There is a player down. Referee's going to stop play here. And just looking right now at who's down, I think it looks like Pepe, who's down at the halfway line. Hopefully he's alright to continue. Of course, 38 years old. Had an incredible season at FC Porto. Again, another player who, credit to him, at the ripe old age of 38, he's still playing at the highest level of football. And that's a credit to him because he's been a quality centre-back for a long, long time. One of the oldest players at the Euros, actually. I think he turned 38 while the tournament had started. So, credit to him. Absolute class player. And I wonder how long we'll see Pepe play for, because he could probably play into his 40s with the way he's playing in real life. But we're just seeing Jogi Löw here, 31 minutes on the clock, looking quite calm on the bench. Not really many worries so far in the game of how Germany played. I do feel like he might feel that there is the potential chance that his side could maybe get a goal before half-time. But we'll have to see, as Pepe looks okay to continue, which is good to see. And we are going to see, I think, a drop ball from the referee on the halfway line. As Pepe, I think, is going to be told to come onto the pitch in a second. And it's good to see, as I think he just says a quick hello to Jogi Löw as well on the touchline there, Pepe, which is good to see. Both those managers and players, of course, have had a lot of experience playing against each other in the past. And funnily enough, in fact, they were just saying first chance that Ronaldo's actually scored against Germany, which is incredible when you think about it. Here come Germany, though. It's going to be Kimmich into Ginter. Plays the ball towards Muller. Now into Kimmich on the right-hand side. Into Muller again. Edge of the box is Gnabry. Back to Ginter, who's going to cross the ball into the box. Tries to get it towards Gnabry, but he doesn't come to anything. And the German possession will continue. It's going to be Toni Kroos. Switches the play to Kimmich on that right-hand side. Now to Ginter, who's going to switch it back to the left-hand side. And this time to Rudiger. Lob long to Gosens. Now Kroos. Back to Gosens, but his touch is a little bit heavy. And now there might be a chance here for Portugal to hit on the break. Ball played towards Ronaldo on the left wing at the halfway line. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. Hasn't got anybody to play the ball towards. And, well, it's an opportunity that they could have had a chance to come forward. And now they will. And it's going to be a chance here for Bernardo Silva, who's gone beyond Rudiger. But in the end, the German centre-back does so well to recover. And well done, Rudiger, for getting back and tracking there, because for a second, it just looked like Bernardo Silva was going to have a chance on goal. And he just did very well there, the Chelsea centre-back, to get himself back into the game. Here is Muller on the right wing, just outside the box. Now to Kimmich. Ball lobbed onto the left-hand side to Gosens, who takes it on the volley! And just like that, Germany are right back in the game, because it's Kai Havertz who gets a touch in the end. And Germany are level in this tie. And that is what you expect of a game of this quality. It is a lovely touch in the end by Kai Havertz. And we've seen the switch of play in this match time and time again. And it's Kimmich who switches the ball to Gosens. He takes the shot, or the cross. I want to see it again here to see where he's gone to cross it in. He's gone to, I think, cross it towards Havertz, who gets a touch in the end. He actually looks more of a shot, from Gosens than a shot. But either way, Havertz gets the touch. He puts it into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a lovely finish from the Chelsea man. Just like that, Germany have equalised. And, well, we've, 10 minutes of the first half left. We have got a pretty interesting game on our hands here. So far, so good. Are we going to see a cracker of a match? We'll have to see. As Germany have got the ball back again here. It's Muller, who has to desperately lunge for the ball. And in the end, I think he's actually going to be given as a Portugal free kick. And Pepe has gone down again here. This is the second time he's gone down. And Pepe is going to be okay. But what a lovely goal that was. Very lovely finish, and I think it looked more of a shot than a cross from Gosens, but in the end, Havertz right place, at the right time. Here come Portugal, though. It's going to be Fernandes into Bernardo Silva, and in the end, it's going to be a German throw-in with a chance for them to breathe, and we see the chance again there, and it was just, as I said, right place, right time, in the middle of the box, beats his man Ruben Dias, gets the touch on the ball, Rui Patricio is too far to his right-hand side, and it's a very simple finish for Havertz, who has pretty much 3/4 of the goal to aim at. And Portugal are beaten for the first time in this competition and will not be getting a clean sheet today, which will be a shame for Rui Patricio. And they do look good today, Germany. You have to admit, they look very good. And whether or not they're going to be able to come out of the match with a victory or not, we will find out as the game continues. But they look in the mood to get a few goals in this game and to really put marker down in Group F. As there's a long ball towards Kimmich, but the pass is a little bit too heavy. And it was a good idea again to switch the play, but unfortunately, it will not come to anything. And it will be a goal kick for Portugal. And we can see Fernando Santos on the touchline, the man who managed Portugal at the Euros last time. He'll not be happy with how Portugal have played, no doubt. I think it has been German domination, and although they did get the one goal from the break, that's only realistically been one of the biggest chances of the game, apart from Ruben Dias's near post header from the corner. And Germany have defended well, because they've not really had much to do. And that's why it has allowed the likes of Rudiger and Ginter to push up the field a little bit more. I think we've seen 4 or 5 times where we've seen balls lobbed in from Ginter into the box from that centre-back position. And he's been able to move up the pitch and get towards the goal. Baloo's asked, do you know if a manager's ever been sacked mid-Euros or World Cup? I can't say I know one off the top of my head, but I'm going to stop for a second because Muller tries to dink a ball into the box towards Havertz. He comes towards Havertz. It's near the near post and it's in. And Germany have taken the lead. And it's an own goal this time from Rafael Guerreiro. And there's not much he can do about it. But the German fans of Munich have gone into absolute ruptures because they take the lead. And it's 2-1 between Portugal and Germany. And, well, seeing the replay, they're onside, and it's the ball to Goossens, which played then to Muller. He flicks the ball towards the edge of the box. It's lobbed back in. Havertz gets a touch. He crosses the ball into the box. And very similar to the goal that we saw Mehmet Demiral score, in that first game of the Euros, he just smashes it into the back of his own net. And Germany take the lead. 2-1. What a game. What a brilliant game we've got on our hands here. 2-1. With 6 minutes left of this first half. And they are checking for a potential offside here. And whether or not this is going to actually count or not is another question. Is there a potential shout of offside here? Let's find out. Referee says no, there isn't. Goals given. Germany will have a 2-1 lead with 40 minutes on the clock. And what a turnaround. Brilliant, brilliant result this could be for Germany if they were to get something. And they are playing with some class. And now there's a chance again here because Werner's in the box. Surely not. And this time it's good defending from Ruben Dias, who gets the leg out there to make the tackle. And so nearly, Germany could have had a 3-1 lead before half-time, which would have made things interesting as Thomas Muller's gone down here with the shoulder. Hopefully nothing too serious. But what a game this is. Brilliant, brilliant match to watch. And we're just seeing again here the actual original chance. And actually, no, that's just the replay of Muller going down. I wanted to see the replay of the goal, and they're showing it from behind the camera. In fact, they're still just showing Muller's chance and why he's gone down. And it's, I think, Pepe who's actually barged into Muller and into his shoulder. And of course that's going to hurt a little bit for Muller there, but he should be alright to continue, hopefully. As Pepe, of course we know what he's like, very feisty player. Is he going to continue? Hopefully he is. Yeah, I think he's going to continue. So Muller should be alright to continue here. We are going to get a corner for Germany. And as Louis Asner says, did you see Rui Patricio linked with Roma this week? Yeah, I saw it a few weeks ago. He was linked. I know that it's looking very likely that move's going to happen. And I think they're going to get the Olympiacos keeper, Jose Sarr, who I don't think is a bad replacement for Rui Patricio. But yeah, that'd be a good signing for Roma, that. I think that's a position they've been lacking in. A good goalkeeper, Roma. And no doubt Rui Patricio will be a good addition to him if they get him. But we're going to get the corner here, which is going to be taken by Toni Kroos. Ball lobbed into the box. Comes towards Rudiger, who gets a touch, but in the end, his touch has gone behind the goal and now to play for a goal kick. But I think we're just hearing about VAR and about how they just very clearly cleared up the fact that there wasn't an offside in that original goal. And I mean, obviously, in real time, you can't really see whether or not there was an offside. And obviously, I didn't get to see a replay to know if there was and how far the offside decision was in terms of the margins and the lines. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because we've got 2.5 minutes left here. And the ball's been given away again here. There might be a chance for Germany to break forward. It's going to be Gnabry, who's been brilliant in this first half alongside Havertz. He's going to play it at the halfway line to Gundogan. Into Kroos, back to Gundogan again. And Germany going to pass around the back here. They've had 62% of the ball, 8 attempts, 4 on target. And the ball will be lofted to Gosens, who takes the touch. His touch is a little bit too heavy. And Portugal get the ball back. And here's Nelson Semedo. Bruno Fernandes back into Semedo again on the right wing. Plays the ball to Ronaldo. Oh, it's a lovely ball to Jota. Jota's in here. He's at the near post, but his touch takes him away and he's offside in the end. And that would have been a lovely chance. And yeah, it's the right decision in the end. He's actually quite far offside when you look at the replay, but offside's given. And we are seeing the decision of the onside now for the second goal. And it's marginal. It is very marginal. But it is a good decision by VAR. Really, really good call from VAR to give that. The line is very close to each other. But it was onside in the end. And Germany will come forward again here. Here's Kimmich. Into Muller, who's back on the pitch. Now it's Havertz at the edge of the box. Lovely ball towards Gosens at the near post. Lobs it towards Havertz. Doesn't get there. Comes towards Kimmich, who tries to take the shot on. Doesn't get towards him. And Portugal are let off the hook again. Now here's Portugal on the counter-attack. And it's a chance for them to drive forward. It's a 4-on-4. Bruno Fernandes into Pepe of all people. And a corner for Portugal. And a minute left of normal time here. Can they get themselves a goal before half-time? That would make things interesting, wouldn't it? If they were to make it 2-2. It's going to be taken short. Comes towards Bernardo Silva on the right wing. Lobs the ball into the box. There's no one there. And it's headed very simply away by Ilkay Gundogan. And I think we'll get a little bit of additional time here for the first half. But what a cracker this has been in the first 45 minutes. High-octane action, as you would expect. As Portugal look to come forward again. And they're probably going to have a minute or two, at the very least, to see if they can get a goal. But can they do it? That's the question. Here's Semedo. Into Ronaldo. Back to Semedo again, who's gone down. Free kick given to Portugal. And a chance maybe here before half-time. As we do go into an additional... It's not actually come up on the screen how much additional time there is. We'll find out in a second. But I would probably say probably a minute or two. 3 minutes, there we go. 3 minutes of additional time. So maybe a chance here to make the most of the free kick. And it'll be Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva stood over the ball. 2 dead ball specialists. And to be honest with you, there are about 6 or 7 dead ball specialists on the pitch for Portugal today. But they're 2 of the best. And this needs to be a good free kick. Because you know there's one man in the box who can head the ball into the back of the net. And that man is Mr. CR7. Already got a goal in this game. Can he get a second to his name before half-time? Maybe even someone like a Pepe who's running at the near post. Ball's lobbed in and it's a poor cross in the end. And it will go into the hands of Manuel Neuer. And a chance here for Germany just to calm the game down as we go into the final 2 minutes of additional time. And what a performance by Germany so far. Whether or not they can keep this performance up in the next 45, I don't know. I think they will. But it's certainly living up to the hype, this game. And that's actually the most goals we've had in the first half of a match of the Euros as well. We've not had many goals in the first half of games. but this one's had 3, and it's not been a disappointing game. As Germany look to come forward again. I've got a real issue on my nose, so I apologise. But they might just see here if they can get one more chance to make it 3-1 before half-time. Ball's been given away in the end to Carvalho. It's going to be Ruben Diaz. Now into Nelson Semedo. Bernardo Silva. Into Semedo. Lots of pressure being put on by Germany here with the press. And the ball eventually is just hoofed all the way up the pitch in the hope it lands at the feet of CR7, who's miles away from the ball, so he's not going to get it. And Portugal will get the ball back again here with 60 seconds left of the first half. It's Rafael Guerreiro who takes on the German players, gets round 2. Now it's Jota into Carvalho. Lots of good play here by Portugal. Guerreiro plays it towards the edge of the box. Fernandes gets a header over Rudiger but doesn't get past Ginter. And Portugal will come forward again here with one more chance before the end of the first half. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes. Tries to take on his man. And eventually he's forced to play the ball back. He's giving it away in the end. And here's Gnabry. And it's a 2-on-1. 1 being the German, 2 being the Portugal. Now it's a 2-on-2. Gnabry's going to go up against Pepe. Gnabry does brilliantly. Gnabry fantastic. But he can't put the ball in the back of the net. And it's a good save by Patricio. And there's still a chance as the ball's lobbed in towards Gnabry. And it's cleared away. And what a chance it was. A really good opportunity. And I thought for a second Bruno Fernandes was going to give Germany their 3rd goal as the referee blows the whistle. Take a breather. What a first half between 2 world-class sides. And although Portugal have not had many chances in this game, it has been a very, very entertaining game to watch. And the first goal came from a Germany corner, ended up in the back of their own net. It was Cristiano Ronaldo who got the ball and put the ball into the back of the net. Brilliant work from Diogo Jota to assist CR7, and it was a simple finish indeed for the Juventus striker. After that, the goals came for Germany. First goal in the match, of course, coming from Rafael Guerreiro. It was a ball into the box from Joshua Kimmich, and his touch in the end, very similar goal to what we saw from Merih Demiral in that game that opened the tournament. He just put the ball into the back of the net, and unfortunately it was 1-1 in the match for Portugal. And then, of course, before half-time, we got the... sorry, that was the second goal, the Guerreiro one. The first one was Havertz, of course. It was a lovely bit of work from Robin Gosens, who had a shot come cross that eventually landed at the feet of Havertz, who put the ball into the back of the net. And I've got to say, what a first half indeed. We expected this game to be a lively one. Germany, with a lot on the line, knowing that a win will completely blow the doors open in Group F. Portugal needing a win to guarantee themselves a spot in the round of 16. But what that does is it does put Germany, as I said, right back into the balance to get themselves out of the group. And we knew that the group of death was going to be a tough one. But we didn't expect all 4 teams, as it stands, to be in a position to still make it through to the next round. We love it, don't we? We love it. And as Carl said, best game of the tournament, first half-wise, in my opinion. Definitely agree with you. Absolute cracker of a first half. I think the only other game that matched it was probably Netherlands-Ukraine, because that had a very good first half as well. But let's hope it lives up to the hype in the second half. Louis Ashton saying, when I see Sports Corner, I fall in love. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. We see Josh commentating and we fall in love. And I just can't seem to get enough of Do. You're legend. We love you, Louis. We love you, man. Honestly, it's been a very, very entertaining game. And when you look at the stats of the match, Germany, 9 shots, 5 on target, with 63% possession. We've seen them dominate the ball for large parts of the game and look fairly dangerous. I mean, the 2 key players on the pitch that have really been dangerous in this match have been Havertz and, more specifically, Serge Gnabry, who is having an incredible game, and you can just feel that at some point in this match he might just go out and get himself a goal in this game, but of course we'll have to see as we continue. As for Portugal, they had 3 shots and only 1 on target. The 1 on target, of course, being the goal that Ronaldo put into the back of the net in the first 15 minutes of the match. But before we talk on a little bit more about the game, if you are new to the stream, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription on the channel. We are covering the majority of the Euros, and we've got a whole host of content which we will talk about in a few moments' time still to come over the next few weeks of the European Championships. But if you do want to check out our social media to see when we do go live on our channel, then highly do recommend joining us on our Twitter, which is at @the_top corner, and our Instagram as well, which is _sportscorner_. Highly recommend to check those out. We do post up on both social media pages when we do go live. Links are in the description as always, as well as being in the chat. You might also notice that there is the join button that we've got on the channel. If you want to support us even more, then you are more than welcome to join us with our join button. We are going to be adding, as more members join, more exclusive content for the members community. We have got a deal going on right now across the Euros. If you do want to join, you can join us for now for only $2.99 a month, and you can get a whole host of exclusive content for members only. That's available by just clicking the join button, which will be down below on the stream. But here's a look at some of the content to come up a little bit later on over the next few days. We've got the second half of Portugal-Germany. Bloody looking forward to it. Really excited. That's coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes' time. Get excited. Kale will be live tonight with Spain v Poland at 10 to 8. He'll also be back with Roman tomorrow for Italy, Wales and Switzerland-Turkey to end Group A. We've got North Macedonia, Netherlands and Ukraine, Austria in Group C. You could join myself and probably Roman for that from the 21st of June. 21st of June at about 10 to 8, we've got Finland, Belgium, as well as Russia, Denmark to end Group B. And then, of course, Group D, Czech Republic, England, Croatia, Scotland, all 4 teams in the balance to make it through to the next round. You can join myself and Rowan on the 22nd of June at 10 to 8 for what will be a firecracker to hopefully see whether or not England will top the group, or who knows? We'll have to see what happens. I don't know whether they can get knocked out or not, but I think it's very unlikely, isn't it? But Louis asks, so far, what are your 3 standout players of the tournament so far? For me, mine are Locatelli, Isaac and Dumfries, all being class, looking like they'll get big summer moves. Yeah, I mean, for me, when I started the tournament, of course, we'll be doing the our predictions early on, which we'll look back, of course, at the very end of the tournament. I picked out Locatelli as my one to watch for the whole tournament, and he's lived up to the hype so far for me. He's been brilliant for Italy. But if I was to pick 3 players out, I think obviously Schick is one of them. I think he definitely deserves to be called as a standout player. I think Roman Yaremchuk of Ukraine, I think he's been brilliant in the tournament so far. I think I could very easily go for Yarmolenko, but I think Yaremchuk, who looks like he wants to leave Ghent in Belgium to move to a big European club, might be about to get his big move because he's played brilliant in the Euros so far. And then my other player I would pick as a standout, I think I have to say probably Loic Nego of Hungary. I think has been brilliant in this tournament so far. Played very, very well. And again, another one of those players that I think he's quite fairly young, Loic Nego. So I want to check just to make sure, and I'm not wrong. But Loic Nego, yeah, actually I'm wrong. He's 30 years old. I thought he was quite young, but I think he's had a brilliant tournament as well. Actually, I'll change that. And I will say the centre-back, actually, Atiya Salai, the Hungarian centre-back, who is Fenerbahce centre-back from Hungary. He's been exceptional in this tournament so far. So I'll change that, and I'll go for Salai at the back, because I think he's been brilliant in this tournament and a quality player. But that is my 3 standout players, and hopefully we will have a few more standout players to come in this tournament over the next few days. But in terms of looking at the benches and things like that, I'm not going to lie, I don't think either manager will change anything in the game so far. I think Portugal, yeah, they've not done much in the game, but I think the manager will leave it for a little bit before changing anything up, even though they have been fairly quiet. And as for Germany, well, why would you change a team that is playing so well? You know, they've been brilliant so far in this match, and I don't see Jogi Löw making any changes yet. But of course, you never know. We'll have to see what happens in the second half. So we're going to take a quick break, be about a 5 or so minute break. We'll be back with the second half, which will be coming up very, very shortly indeed. We'll talk about the other game as well that is coming up a little bit later today. That is between Spain and Poland. And in fact, we'll do that now, actually. That's the other game coming up. You can join KL for that tonight, about 5 or 10 minutes before kickoff. Of course, Spain do need a win tonight after drawing against Sweden in that 0-0 draw. A loss or a draw for them would make things very interesting going into their last match of Matchday 3, which would be against Slovakia. As for Poland, with the way that the group is looking, if they do not win tonight, Poland will be out of the competition. They have had a torrid life in tournaments. They've only actually scored 2 goals in 12 appearances in the big competitions. And their manager, Paulo Sousa, has found himself under severe pressure already. Not been in charge of the national team for long, but he's already under quite a bit of pressure, especially with the way that Poland have started off. So that game tonight should be an interesting one. Both teams have got to go for it, which should make for, again, a very, very lively game indeed. But we'll have to find out what happens a little bit later on tonight. As I said, join Kale for that one a little bit later on this evening. But as for now, we'll take a short break. Do go and get yourself a drink, and we will be back in about 5 minutes' time for the second half. Let's hope there's some more goals in it. See you in 5. Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. How are we all doing? Welcome along. We are back here for the second half of the game between Portugal and Germany for what was one of the most entertaining first 45 minutes of action of the tournament so far. It all started off with a goal which came from the actual own half of Germany. They were really bad. They were on a corner, I think is the easy way to put it. And then eventually Portugal were able to counter-attack, go all the way up the pitch and get themselves an equaliser in the game, or an opening goal, sorry. Then Germany equalised afterwards with a goal from Kai Havertz, which was a brilliant finish. And then finally, they took the lead in the game, courtesy of a own goal from Rafael Guerreiro, which was very similar to the first goal that we had of the tournament from Eric Demal. But we've got a brilliant game coming up, as Louis said, Smash 11 data today, getting offers from the PDC. Ho-ho! Any day even the PDC, my friend, will sponsor you. But no, jokes aside, it has been a cracking game to watch. And I will tell you something, I'll probably be playing a little bit of darts later on tonight myself, getting a bit of practicing, because I've not had no time whatsoever while the Euros are on. But we are now back underway with the second half of the match between Portugal and Germany. There was actually a change at half-time, which I didn't think we were going to get, but Bernardo Silva has actually come off, and Renato Sanchez, who has actually been playing a wide midfielder role this season for large parts at Lille, it's on the wide wing now. So, the change has been made. The question is, will that be the difference here? Because Portugal have not been good enough in this game to deserve anything in the game, as Germany had dominated pretty much the majority of that first 45 minutes, apart from the counter-attacking goal, which came out of absolutely nowhere. But for now, sit back, relax, because we have got a blockbuster, well, hopefully a blockbuster, of the 45 minutes to come. And we will see whether or not Portugal can break down this Germany side and get themselves back into the game, or whether or not the Germans will assert their dominance for the first time in what will be a long time. I don't think we've seen Germany be dominant in a big fixture for a long time. So the opportunity is on the table for them here to go out there and get a good comprehensive result and leave us all kind of thinking Germany are the big dogs again. But we'll have to find out and see whether or not that can happen, as Renato Sanchez gets the ball for the first time. And as I said before, had a pretty interesting season at Lille. Really struggled, didn't he, a few years ago when he was at Swansea City. But what he has done, he has certainly taken that disappointing life that he had at Swansea City. He used it to his advantage when he went back to Bayern, got the move to Lille, and has been brilliant ever since at that French club. And looking like, again, he could be on the move to another big club somewhere in Europe. But we'll have to see, as we've got a stoppage in play here. And it is going to be a potential break in play, as we've got a slight injury, I think. It's looking like... oh, yeah, Gosens in a certain private area, it's looking like, where he got touched. And more than anything, I think it's actually the Portuguese player, Semedo, who's come off a little bit worse. But he's all right to continue, and play will carry on. And it just looked like, for a second, that maybe Portugal were going to have a chance there. But Gnabry's come back to do a bit of defending. He's able to clear the ball away, and he's done very well indeed there. Here is Nelson Semedo into Renato Sanchez. Now to Bruno Fernandes. Crosses a ball towards Jota on the left-hand side of the near post. But the cross was just a little bit too heavy, and a man of Jota's height, although he's quite tall, isn't going to be able to get on that. And the chance goes wide of the mark for Portugal. And we're just seeing it again, yeah. Just about, probably need a little bit more height. 2 more inches, maybe. And he would have probably got a touch on that. But unfortunately for him, he didn't get a touch in the end. But if you're in the chat, Louis, do you play darts much? Do you practice often? I know I played one of my mates on the day that I wasn't streaming and got absolutely spanked. But practice always does good. Here's Gosens on the left-hand side. Into the path of Thomas Muller. But Pepe does really well to come up against another one of the veterans of world football, Muller. And I still can't believe Pepe's 38, because he's running around the pitch like he's 22. And fair play to him. I would love to see him play at the World Cup at the age of 39, 40. That would be brilliant. Here is Renato Sanchez on the ball. Nearly said Ruben Semedo then. He's definitely not playing for Portugal anymore after what's happened with him in real life. Jota on the left wing at the halfway line. Brilliant defending by Kimmich, who gets the ball back. And this German back line looking very dominant in this game so far. And in the first 5 minutes, it is Portugal who are trying to just get a foothold of this second half. Haven't been able to yet. And I think when we do get one big chance on goal, that will open the game up once again. Here is Gosens on the left wing. Lobs a ball towards Serge Gnabry. Dias heads away. And Nelson Semedo eventually clears his lines. But it will come back to Germany. And it will go all the way back to Manuel Neuer, who is playing his 102nd game as a Germany keeper, which is the most capped German keeper of all time. Of course, we know in the past they had Oliver Kahn. Germany never really been in a bad position for keepers. And when you look at the quality of the keepers they've got, you know, they've got Neuer, Leno, Ter Stegen, Trapp. Absolutely brilliant to see whether or not Germany's future is going to have as many star keepers as they have now. Chance here, though, for Germany. Ball at the edge of the box towards Gosens. Plays it in, and it's just in. It's 3-1. And Kai Havertz bags again. And just like that, it is a massive blow to Portugal, who are being blown away. And a man who has been fantastic this season for Chelsea and brilliant in this game, doubles his scoreline, and it's 3-1 to Germany. And I'll tell you something, the way that Germany are playing this game here, are we on course for a potential battering? It's turning into one, and Kai Havertz again is able to get thrown goal. Gosens has been a menace all game long. He flicks the ball into the box, and nobody knows how to defend Kai Havertz, because that's the second or third time he's been completely unmarked. Ruben Dias not having a good game. What a match this is. 3-1. That opens the doors, doesn't it, for an interesting second half. And just like that, Portugal going to need 2 goals minimum now in this game to get something back. What a match. Brilliant, brilliant game indeed. Here is Renato Sanchez into CR7, who no doubt is going to have to provide some magic in this game now, and he will get a free kick in a decent position. But what a game Kai Havertz is having. It's saying on the screen 1 goal in 2 matches. They've actually given the first original goal to Ruben Dias as an own goal. So they're saying now technically it's 2 own goals for Portugal rather than Kai Havertz having 2, which is a real shame for him, but he's been very, very decisive in this game. Free kick though for Portugal here, and maybe a chance to instantly get a goal back. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes who takes the free kick, lobbed into the box, headed away by Mats Hummels, and then headed even further away by Thomas Muller. As Carl said, apologies, I missed it and wasn't listening, but with any substance, there wasn't, as far as I know, unless they haven't come up on the screen. And then Carl saying, never underestimate the Germans. How wrong was I? Come on, Germany. I think we were all wrong, but from what we saw in the first game, we didn't expect anything like this from Germany. But they played very well indeed so far. And they are giving Portugal a real good battering here. But, I mean, let's say we're only, 52 minutes into the game. There's another at least probably 40 minutes, because we'll get a bit of additional time, no doubt. And if Germany get the next goal, this game is well and truly killed. As I just need to change the top left of the screen, because it still says 2-1 on there. Apologies. Change that to 3-1. There we go. And it's going to be Ronaldo with a free kick. Well, if he hits this from here, then this is going to be a special goal. Ronaldo hits it, and it goes over the bar and out of play for a goal kick, and not the Ronaldo magic that I think we were expecting. But he gave it a good go. It would have been an absolute worldie. But unfortunately for Ronaldo, it's gone high and wide, and Manuel Neuer doesn't really even have to dive for it. So 3-1 in this game. And as we were saying before, if Germany get the next goal, that will certainly kill this game off. And they might have a chance here again It's going to be Serge Gnabry. He's going to have to go on his own here against Pepe. Does really well against the Porto centre-back. Gnabry on the right wing still, waiting for players to come forward. Here's Kimmich, who's one of them. And eventually Germany will just calm the play down. They can see a real opportunity here to leave a real shocking scoreline on the board. Here's Rudiger. Trying to get the ball into the path of Gosens, but the past the end will guard a play. And I think it's going to be given as a Portugal throw-in. And you can sense there is that drive about them that we haven't seen for a long time. And that's something that maybe has been missing from Germany for a few years. You know, when we saw them at the World Cup against the likes of Sweden and South Korea, they didn't feel like the same team that played at the World Cup in 2014. But this specific game, there just feels a sense of a drive and that hunger, which is lovely to see. And whether or not, of course, they can keep that up, I don't know. But we saw against France that, realistically, that was an own goal in that game that only cost them. And apart from that, you know, France, they had the chances but didn't take them. You know, there is an opportunity that Germany could squeeze themselves out of the groups and into the knockout stages. But don't count out Portugal either. They've got good enough players on the pitch to be able to bag. But it's whether or not they can or not. Here's Pepe into Ronaldo, who's had to drop deep on the right wing. Plays the ball into Renato Sanchez, who is going to have even more work to do now, as the only substitute the game so far. Here's William Carvalho into Renato Sanchez. Now into Diogo Jota, who's at the edge of the box. Tries to get a lovely ball to Ronaldo, but Ginter's there first. And a chance here now for Germany to break again. Starting with Ilkay Gundogan on the left wing at the halfway line. And again, Germany will just slow the play down. They don't have to urgently push players forward. But this group, if it stays like this, will be blown wide open. And what an end to Group F it could be, because even Hungary still have a chance to go out of the group, which would be incredible. And I mean, Hungary, if they were to get through, that would be quite the story, wouldn't it? Obviously, very unlikely. But you never know. As Rudiger looks to drive Germany forward here. Going to play the ball to Gosens on the left wing. Back to Rudiger again. He's about 35-40 yards out. He's going to come to Ginter. Into Ilkay Gundogan. Now to Gnabry. Tries to feed the ball to Havertz, who was making the run past Dias. But the pass is just a little bit too weak, and Dias is able to hoof the ball up the pitch and out of play. But I wonder how long it'll be here to whether Portugal makes some more changes, because we've got two defensive midfielders on, and there is a player on the touchline getting ready to come on. We will see who it is. I think it's Rafa Silva who's going to come on, who of course was very influential in that match against Hungary. Was part of the brilliant third goal which Ronaldo scored. The one touch passing between Rafa Silva and Cristiano Ronaldo was, for me, one of the best goals of the tournament. But there's a chance here for Germany. Ball lofted long towards Gosens, but a little bit too heavy. And it goes out of play for a Portuguese goal kick. As we'll see the change for Portugal. So Rafa Silva will come on. And coming off the pitch will be, as expected, William Carvalho. Of course, don't need two defensive midfielders on the pitch now. So Carvalho comes off. And Rafa Silva comes on. And the sense of urgency for Portugal to get a goal will be much more clear to see now, as they brought on a brilliant winger, Rafa Silva, plays at Benfica, been a consistent player for them over the last couple of years. Surprised he's never actually had a move to one of the big top European clubs yet, but he's a quality player, and he's got a good chance now to show himself and flex his muscles in this game as Portugal drive forward. Here's Ronaldo into Jota on the left wing, going to take on his man Jota, still going, goes down in the box. He calls for a penalty, but the referee completely disacknowledges it, and play will continue as Germany look to drive forward. Ball played towards Gnabry, but Pepe this time comes out on top, and it's good defending from the veteran, who has had quite a tricky game, hasn't he, so far, in terms of the whole complexion of this match. But that was a little bit of good defending from him there. As Louis said, unpopular opinion, it's harder to win the Euros than the World Cup, and Yeah, I can agree to a certain extent. I think with the way that the World Cup is, there's a lot more South American teams and African teams, no disrespect, of a weaker quality, which makes it more likely for the bigger teams to go through to the next round. While with the Euros, I think European sides, and this is not, I don't want to be biased anyway, but I think there's a lot more better European sides, which makes it so much harder to win it. And I think when you look at other European sides that haven't even made it to the tournament, you can look at the likes of, I think, Bosnia and Serbia, two sides that haven't even made it. We've got a lot of very good European international sides. And I think it is hard to win it. Here come Germany, though. Going to be a chance on the right wing here for Kimmich. Lobs the ball into the box. Comes in! It's 4! Gosens at the near post! And it's 4-1 to Germany! And they are running riot in Munich. And this is a brilliant game. And for a man that has been sensational in this game, time and time again, Portugal just don't know how to defend right now. And it's that man Gosens, and we're seeing the goal again. Havertz, ball to Kimmich. Terrible defending, and Gosens calls for the ball at the left-hand side of the near post. It's a brilliant cross. He rises the highest, the Atalanta fullback, and it's a simple finish. 4-1 Germany. What a game, and what a performance from a team that are certainly giving a world-class performance today and putting a marker down at the Euros. What a game. And we've still got half an hour left here. And this could get worse for Portugal. Brilliant, brilliant performance. And as I said, Robin Gosens has been exceptional in this match. And that's his first goal at a major tournament for Germany. And we are going to get a change now for Germany as well. We're going to see Marcel Halstenberg come onto the pitch alongside Emre Can. And Gosens will come off to a standing ovation. He has been exceptional in this match for Germany tonight. And he comes off the pitch for Marcel Halstenberg. And then the other change we're going to see in this game, we'll see who is in a second. I think they're just trying to sort out the board to see who comes on. Gives a chance for Jogi Löw to make some quick last-minute adjustments. And it's going to be Emre Can who comes onto the pitch for İlkay Gündoğan, who, I mean, today, they've been brilliant, Germany. Exceptional performance. And I don't think anybody in this game would have put down 4-1 to Germany now, would they? And they can now start resting players for the next match. As Gündoğan comes off. And Emre Can comes on in his midfield position. Oh no, they've changed the change. So Gündoğan stays on. And it's actually Mats Hummels who will come off. So the substitution has been changed. And Hummels will come off as well. And as we said before, I think all the players have played really well in this game. And it's now a case of resting your players up for the final game. And as we were saying before, originally, I think we'd have been looking and saying, well, you don't really want to have Hungary last. You want to play the other games and against the tougher teams and have Hungary kind of in the middle. But now, it's looking like it's going to be brilliant here for Germany to play Hungary last. Although saying that, it still won't be easy. As Alexis asks who scored the goals for Germany. How are we doing, Alex? I hope you're good. So the first goal has gone down as a Ruben Dias own goal. The second goal went down as a Rafael Guerreiro own goal. The second goal was Kai Havertz. The third one was Kai Havertz. And then the fourth one was Robin Gosens, who's just been subbed off. But Kyle's saying if only Germany played like this and took their chances against France, could be through with a win here. And you're not wrong. Because that was the thing. In the game that they played against France, they didn't play bad. But they also didn't take the chances, and that was the problem. And today, it's been quite the opposite. And I think if you were somebody who put down a prediction or a bet for 4-1, I'd have called you absolutely nuts. As we're going to see another change here, and Bruno Fernandes comes off for João Moutinho. Not Bruno Fernandes' best game at all. Of course, very nearly actually gave a goal away before the end of the first half when he gave the ball straight to Serge Gnabry. And this is the first real time in a long, long time where I think we've seen Portugal getting battered. You know, I can't remember the last game which Portugal lost by a heavy scoreline to a fairly big side. But it's not a good performance, and 25 minutes left here. You can just sense maybe Germany going and seeing if they can get a few more. As Louis said, the Hungary game will still be tough, as they're going to be hungry to have... well, they'll be hungry with something to play for, because 4 points will more than definite go through. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think, as I said before, I think 4 points will be enough to go through in third. And of course, as you said, and I was saying earlier, they've got a good chance of being able to potentially see if they can get the 4 points. But I think at the same time, we'll have to see what happens, because there could be a lot of teams finishing on 4 points. And of course, 4 out of 6 are going to go through, so 2 are going to unfortunately miss out. And of course, when you look at goal difference, Hungary's is I think the lowest. Well, actually, it might not be now, but Hungary's was -2, I think, going into the end of the last match that they played. So there will be a little bit weaker on the goal difference front, which might be a problem for them. But if they could go and win in Germany, or in Budapest, wherever it's been played, and get themselves the result, then just maybe we could see them go through, which would be spectacular. Big ask, massive ask, but you never know. As we're going to get a free kick here for Portugal, and they really need to get a goal back quick in this game, as we're going to get the first yellow card of the match, and Kai Havertz goes into the book. And well, he's had a good game, Havertz. Obviously goes into the book with that correct decision for the referee to give that as a foul. But Havertz goes into the book with the yellow card. First yellow card of the game. A chance maybe here for Portugal to just maybe rock the boat a little bit. Make things interesting. They'd have to get it from this though. And they need something here. So Martinho and Guerreiro stood over the ball. It'd be Guerreiro who takes it. Ball lobbed in, comes towards the near post, and Ronaldo gets it, and there is a goal. And that could be a chance for Portugal to get back in it. It's Diogo Jota who gets the ball in at the near post, and this game might not be done and dusted yet. 4-2, and Manuel Neuer is absolutely fuming with his players at the fact that they've given the ball away, and it's Ronaldo who keeps the high foot. Jota at the near post, who gets the touch on the ball in the end. And just like that, this game might be back on. 4-2. Interesting match, this one, isn't it? Living up to the hype. It's what we wanted. A 6-goal thriller. And it's Diogo Jota who gets on the score sheet now. And this is going to be checked by VAR for offside. We'll have to see whether or not this goal is going to count or not, because it would be massive if this was to be disallowed. As VAR has certainly had some work to do today in this game, but we're going to see it again. And I think he looks onside to me. I mean, I don't really know, obviously, because I'm not in the VAR box, but I think, for me, Ronaldo looks onside there. If I'm being honest with you, and I think the goal will probably count. But we'll have to see whether the referee agrees or disagrees here. And the referee agrees that he's onside, so the goal stands 4-2 between Portugal and Germany. And we said that they probably needed to get something from that free kick. And they got it. And that now opens the doors, maybe, for Portugal to try and drive forward and get themselves into this game again, as they have been given another free kick just a little bit further out this time. With 22 minutes left of this game. Long, long way to go in this match, that's for sure. It's going to be João Moutinho to take it again. Obviously, going to have to be an in-swinger this time. Hit with some pace. But you've just got to see here if you can get a potential chance of just maybe getting another goal here while Germany have switched off. Ball lobbed in by João Moutinho. Comes towards Ronaldo, but headed away by Rudiger. It's going to be Guerreiro who runs towards the ball to keep it in. And in the end, it'll be a Portugal throw-in, as Louis said. If Portugal get another, this is going to match the excitement of England-Scotland. Yeah, I think we can easily say this has been the best game of the tournament by a country mile. By a country mile. Here's Renato Sanchez. Ball played into Guerreiro. Flicks the ball into the box. Tries to get it towards Rafa Silva. It's going to come towards Danilo Pereira. Lays the ball off to Ronaldo. Takes on his man. Lobs the ball into the box. It's cleared by Rudiger. And ball out of play for a throw-in. And again here, Germany just slightly switching off in this game and allowing Portugal to get themselves back into the match. And with 20 minutes left, there's a long way to go in this game. They could easily get a goal back and make it interesting. But what a brilliant game this is. And it makes me even more gutted because I was going to actually put a bet on before this game started to be both teams to score in both halves. 20 booking points for each side. And 2 corners each half. I don't think it'd be coming in right now because obviously Portugal haven't had any cards. But it was 250 to 1. So I'm gutted I didn't put any money on it. But going to have a cooling break here for a moment. Of course, very warm weather in Munich, which means it does give me a chance to very quickly say what's coming up on the Sports Corner over the next few days. Of course, we've still got the rest of the second half between Portugal and Germany still to come. 4-2 as it stands to Germany in the match. That's still coming up. We've got Italy and, we've got Poland and Spain coming up a little bit later on tonight. Italy, Wales and Switzerland, Turkey from Group A, that's tomorrow. North Macedonia, Netherlands and Ukraine up against Austria. That is on the 21st of June with myself. That's from 10 to 5. Finland, Belgium, Russia, Denmark. That's from Group B at 10 to 8. You can join us for that. And then, of course, from Group D, Czech Republic, England, Croatia, Scotland. That's live from 10 to 8 on the 22nd of June. Should be a real firecracker of a match. But otherwise, talk about firecrackers. This has been a brilliant game indeed so far. We've got 20 minutes left and the drinks break is all done and dusted. And we continue on with the game. As Rowan says, this game's great. It is indeed. And then he says, what you don't know, what's going to happen next in this game. It's great entertainment. It definitely is. This is what we expected from the tournament. The biggest teams. And then obviously they're not coming up against each other in the early stages usually. But the biggest teams coming up against each other with the action. And drama. As we are going to have another change here. Another 2 for Germany. Goretzka and Sewell getting ready to come on, of course. Goretzka, this will be his first game of the tournament. Being out injured for a little bit. And also Nicholas Schul will come on in a second. We'll see who comes off in just a moment's time. As there might be a mistake here. But Rudiger does very well to make sure that Rafa Silva doesn't get the ball. So Neuer's kick. Came towards Nelson Semedo. Portugal have got the ball back here. It's going to be Rafa Silva on the right wing. The man who was the difference in that last game against Hungary. Really brought some enigmatic flair to the table. And not necessarily in this game yet, but as the ball's gone out of play, we are going to see the substitutions. Sewell and Goretzka on the touchline. I think Rudiger will probably come off. Maybe Kroos as well. Start resting plays up. But we'll see who comes off. So the first substitution is going to be Kai Havertz, who comes off, of course, on a yellow card. So understandable substitution. He comes off for Leon Goretzka. And then the other change, we'll see Nicholas Sewell come on, the Bayern Munich defender. Going to have a lot more game time next season at Bayern Munich with Boateng going. And it will be Ilkay Gundogan who finally comes off this time. And the substitution is made there with 18 minutes left. As Louis said, cooling break. What they're going to do in Qatar, put an ice bucket over them. They probably need more than that, to be fair, in Qatar. They'll probably need an ice bucket on the head for the whole match. I mean, that would make football quite interesting if they had a bucket on the head for the whole game and they couldn't see what they were doing and they were playing it blind. That would make it interesting, but yeah, it's going to be quite a hot one, that, in Qatar. And quite a cool one even in the UK since it's at Christmas. Going to be a very different World Cup, that one. Going to have the darts on at the same time as the World Cup. Although it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know what they'll do with the World Championship, whether they'll delay it or not, or whether they'll have it at the same time as the World Cup. Going to be interesting winter of sport that one's going to be, isn't it? Here's Sanchez, though. Plays the ball into Guerrero on the left wing. Back to Renato Sanchez. As Portugal try and get themselves another goal in this game. They need it. Ball comes towards CR7. Rudiger's going to play it back to Neuer. And Neuer's kick very nearly landed at the feet of Semedo. It's going to land to Gnabry. And Germany can come forward again. And if they get another goal in this game, you'd surely think it'd kill it off. Here's Goretzka taking his first touch of the game. Back to Gnabry. Back to Goretzka again. tries to get it towards Gnabry. Very nearly gets to touch the German winger. In the end there, good defending from Danilo Pereira, who gets the ball back. And now Rafa Silva can take on Rudiger, who gets pushed over. Going to be a throw-in for Portugal. And a chance for a breather for a second. On what is a relentless game, isn't it? Absolutely relentless. So much drama. So much passion. So much flair. And no doubt if you are a Hungary or a French fan, specifically the French fans, will be watching on a little bit more here and wishing that they got a result against Hungary today, because that would have got them the top spot in the group, probably, on goal difference. Of course, they do play Portugal on the last game of the tournament, France, in the group stage, so we'll have to see whether or not they do finish top. But ball lofted long towards Leon Goretzka, doesn't get to him in the end, and the pass will go straight back, or the cross even, will go to Rui Patricio. And you just feel that next goal's crucial again here. We said it a moment ago, literally, as the free kick was lobbed in. But let's say Portugal score in the next 5 or 10 minutes. It's going to make for a grandstand finish, isn't it? And here they come. It's going to be Nelson Semedo on the right wing. Ronaldo's calling for it in the box, and he's fuming at the fact Nelson Semedo didn't whip it in the end. You could see his reaction. He wanted that ball half a second earlier, and Nelson Semedo opted to not cross it. And they will have the ball back here, Portugal, with Rafael Guerreiro, who's going to be playing a little bit further up the pitch now. Pretty much everybody is at the halfway line for Portugal, as you would expect. Here's Semedo. Moutinho trying to get the ball into the path of Rafa Silva. A little bit too heavy with the pass from the Wolves midfielder. And now there's a chance here for Germany to break, and it's Leon Goretzka. And he's going to drive forward. Muller trying to get it into Goretzka again, but Pepe is there to defend. Does very well this time, the 38-year-old. And Portugal will get the ball back again. It's going to be Danilo Pereira into Rafa Silva, who has got the pace. He's kind of playing as the striker right now, Rafa Silva, as you'd expect, the freshest player on the pitch with lots of pace. And I wonder if we will see a few more changes from Portugal soon. I know they've got Andre Silva on the bench, Gonçalo Guedes and Gonçalves as well, two of the players that could maybe come on in the next 10 or so minutes if Portugal want to make the changes. Here's Rafa Silva again on the ball. There's 3 players up here for Portugal, and now there's a chance for the ball towards Ronaldo. And there's a late challenge, which the referee is going to bring back, and that is going to be a yellow card for Germany. And it's going to be Matthias Ginter, who goes into the book. And a free kick here for Portugal, with a late foul on Jota. Don't forget, we have another game coming up tonight. Will it be a cracker? We'll have to see. We'll have to find out. Another brilliant game coming up this evening. You can join Q&L live about 10 minutes before kickoff. Spain up against Poland. The last game of Matchday 2. It should be a belter. That's going to be with KL tonight. Should be a brilliant game indeed. But back to this one. Because Portugal and Germany having a real grandstand fight right now in the final 15 minutes. It's going to be Danilo Pereira into Pepe. Pepe with a long ball. Trying to get it towards CR7. Of course, both were at Real Madrid a few years ago together. Now both at Juventus and Porto respectively. And in the end, there's going to be a corner here for Portugal. And maybe a sense of nerves building here for Germany. Obviously, we know that we've seen the yellow card come out for Matthias Ginter. Is he going to be in a position here to be able to defend the corner? It's going to be taken short. Renato Sanchez goes for long-range effort and hits the bar. What an opportunity that was. It was a thunderbolt effort from Renato Sanchez. And that would have been an absolute firecracker. He scored a brilliant goal 5 years ago, I remember. And that would have been one of the goals of the tournament had Renato Sanchez scored it. What a strike it was, and it unfortunately doesn't go into the back of the net. What a chance. But it doesn't land. And in a game which you just feel isn't going Portugal's way right now. And another chance, which he hit so hard, and I don't know how the ball is not in the back of the net, and how the net is not rattling still, but what a chance. That would have put the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it? Had Portugal have got that. And it might even put a little bit more of an emphasis here on Germany getting a 5th goal in this game, just to make sure that they seal the deal as we look towards the final 10 minutes of what is probably going to go down as the classic of the tournament. Obviously, we've got a long way to go. Plenty of knockout games to come, but this is a feisty fixture full of drama. Here is Emre Can into Matthias Ginter, into Kimmich now. With 10 minutes left. Is there going to be a hero? And will Portugal make the changes that they're probably screaming out for? 11 attempts for Germany, 6 attempts for Portugal, 55% possession for Germany to the 45 of Portugal. They've certainly got themselves back into the game a little bit, Portugal, in this second half with possession, as you would expect them to. But they just probably need to push up a little bit here to see if they can get that 3rd goal to their name. And the 7th of the match. It's going to be Nicholas Sewell here into the path of Ginter. Now to Kimmich. And they just look to push forward as Peter Thompson says, oh my god, I fell asleep 2 hours ago. My £200 on Portugal's not looking good. No, definitely not, Peter. I was gutted because I was going to put a bet on in this game for both teams to score in both halves. 20 booking points each team. And 2 corners in each half. And I think it was like 200 to 1. Still technically not coming in anyway, so it might not matter because Portugal haven't had any bookings. And I don't actually think... I think they've had the corners. Or they've had... Well, they still need a corner, I think. Which I think they'll probably get at some point. But, yeah, we're missing out on booking points anyway. So we'd still be losing, but... Still could happen. I didn't put a bet on in the end. I was going to put like a 5 or a 10 on it, and I didn't. Here's Rudiger on the halfway line. Do Germany need a 5th goal? Or do you think they can sit back and kill this game off? Here's Gnabry. Louis saying Ruben Dias still hasn't learned how to deal with Havertz from 4 weeks ago. You're not wrong. He has struggled in this game. Pepe and Dias have really struggled against Germany tonight. And we have seen little moments in the game where Germany had switched off. But it doesn't really matter in the long run because they've played some intricately perfect football today. And we're going to see that chance back from Renato Sanchez again. It was a thunderbolt. And Neuer was beaten. What a strike it was. From about 30-35 yards out. He gets the swerve on it. But it hits the outside of the post. And it was rattling for quite some time. But in the end, it wasn't in the back of the net. And a real shame as there's a chance here for Portugal. It's going to be with Rafa Silva. He's not really got anybody near him. So he's going to go alone. Here's Guerreiro into Renato Sanchez. Now Guerreiro again. Martinez's calling for the ball in the midfield. It's going to be now into... Well, actually, it's not. He was supposed to go to Martinez. It doesn't get to him in the end. And now there's a chance here for Germany to break forward. It's going to be a 3-on-3. And it's Leon Goretzka going forward. He's got Muller and he's got Gnabry on his left-hand side. He's going to go alone and he hits the side of the post. Or I think he clipped the top of the bar. He might have just done. Very, very close to getting the 5th goal that Germany would have needed in this game. But it's over. And I don't actually think he actually hit the bar in the end. And there is going to be another forward coming on here. And as I said before, I expected Andre Silva to come on at some point. And he is coming on in this game. Diogo Jota comes off. And although he did get a goal in the match, Jota, can Andre Silva be the hero? As Portugal need 2 goals minimum to get themselves the 4 points. The illustrious 4 points. To try and get themselves into the round of 16. They've got France in their next game. Germany, of course, against Hungary in a few days' time. Germany definitely got the better of the pick of the bunch in terms of the games that you'd want to play in your last match. But it is certainly opening up Group F to be an absolute belter. Here's Nelson Semedo on the right wing, plays it to Rafa Silva, back to Semedo again. And that sense of urgency just needs to build here for Portugal. Obviously, we said before they got a lot of players on the halfway line not too long ago, but there's a little bit of a slow bit of possession here, where they're just struggling to get the ball up the pitch, and Germany have boxed them in very well here, pressing them until the last whistle, trying to make sure that if they do buckle under the pressure, they can have those chances like Goretzka did a few moments ago, where they can hit on the break, maybe get a 5th goal and make it even look worse than it has been so far. As Louis Ashton says, just me that thinks Luka Jovic and Andre Silva are the same people. When you actually look at the run of football that they've had and their careers, they've both had very similar paths, because obviously Jovic struggled at Real Madrid, Andre Silva struggled at Milan, 2 big clubs. They moved to Bundesliga, did very well there. It's strange, isn't it? But 2 very good players, quality players that Frankfurt have. Obviously, Jovic has gone back to Real Madrid now, which is a shame. But Andre Silva is a world-class... well, maybe not world-class striker yet, but a very good one. And one that I think could get picked up in the window, depending on what he does at the Euros. And regardless of what he's done at the Euros, I think he had a brilliant season at Frankfurt. Played very well, got them into the Europa League, which is an achievement in itself. Although they'll be a little bit disappointed that they didn't get UCL football, because they were on the glimpse of getting Champions League football. But I think he's a quality striker on his day. And I've said before that I think if Haaland was to leave Dortmund and they didn't get Isaac back from Real Sociedad, because they do have a option to buy to bring him back, then I do think Andre Silva would be a perfect player to have at Dortmund. I really do, as we are going to have a break in play for a head injury. Danilo Pereira is the man who's gone down. Clash of heads with Thomas Muller. Referee stopping play very quickly. And good news is Danilo Pereira is going to be alright. But we're seeing that chance from Goretzka again. I want to see if it clips the top of the bar. Shot gets taken on. And it very slightly grazes the bar. Never dipping. But it must have touched the very top of the bar. And you can see Ronaldo's reaction to today's game. And I'll be honest with you as well. I do think Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't actually really done much in the match, if I'm being honest with you. I know, of course, he got the assist and the goal. But I think they'll be a little bit disappointed that he's not done more in the game. As Danilo Pereira, I think, is going to come off for now, just to be treated. But we are going to see another change as well, as Germany are going to bring on Leroy Sané. That change will be made in just a moment. And we'll see who comes onto the pitch in a second's time. But before we see Sané come on, we're going to have the drop ball, I think. And I think it'll probably be Thomas Muller who comes off. As we said before, we can now just start to rest players. So, change is going to be made here. Leroy Sané comes on, and it will be Gnabry who comes off the pitch. And I'll tell you something, what a performance from Gnabry tonight. Absolutely exceptional player. Brilliant player. The way he turned the Portuguese defence today, he has been an absolute menace. And an incredible player. As Leroy Sané comes on, a player who's been quite the opposite in the last year or two. Not had the best of times at Bayern Munich yet. Of course, got a long way to go in his career. Still early days. I think he's 24, 25. But he'll be hoping that he can go out there and put in a good performance for the last few minutes, as Portugal still need 2 goals here to get a point in this game. Remember, if they don't... I'm going to stop for a second though. Nelson Semedo's in here. Tries to cross the ball into the box, and there will be a corner for Portugal. And it was Nicolas Soul who got to the ball first. And they're going to have to defend this set piece very well indeed, because we saw the last set piece, or the last few. There's been a little bit of danger from Portugal from set pieces. And if they were to get a goal here, we're probably going to get a good few minutes of additional time, which would make this game very interesting. But the corner's going to be lobbed in by João Moutinho. Can he put a good ball in? Moutinho comes towards the near post. And eventually it's headed away. Comes back to Renato Sanchez. Plays the ball to Moutinho, who puts it back to Sanchez. He's going to whip a ball into the box. Comes towards the near post. It comes towards Pepe. And it's headed away by Rudiger for another corner. What an opportunity that was for Portugal again. And they're going to see the replay back. Pepe at the near post. Just a little bit too high for him to go towards the actual goal. He tries to head it back into play, but the actual corner's been taken early. And not the best of deliveries in the end. Means that Portugal again are going to have to try and press up the pitch from the halfway line. It's going to be Nelson Semedo who hooves the ball long. Tries to get it into the path of Andre Silva. And unfortunately, it didn't get to him in the end. So Ruben Dias was the man who's just gone and got the ball for the throw-in. And everybody's up the pitch now for what is going to be a very interesting few minutes. Here's Pepe. Ball going to have to be played to Nelson Semedo at the halfway line again. He's going to play it short this time. Here's Renato Sanchez. Going to take on his man on the right wing, and he's going to take him on, and he's got the pace to burn. Lovely work from Renato Sanchez. Still going. And in the end, it's going to be given as a foul to Germany. And I think Renato Sanchez might go into the book here for kicking the ball. And the referee's going to let him off in the end and not give a yellow card for the kicking of the ball. And yeah, it's a good decision in the end there. Just pushes Cruz in the back. And it will be a Germany free kick. Just to calm the player down as we go towards the last 15 seconds of the 90 minutes. And what a brilliant game it's been. What a fantastic match. End to end, lots of drama. And no doubt will go down as probably one of the best games of the tournament. As Portugal come forward again. It's going to be Ronaldo on the left wing. As we go into additional time. And well, that sums Ronaldo up. He's tried to do a bit of trickery. And the ball's gone out of play. And that will probably go on the highlight reel on Twitter. As we do go into a total of, I think, 4 additional minutes. But we're just seeing that again from Ronaldo. Tries a little bit of the trickery. Tries to do the ball roll. And eventually just taps the ball away from his own feet. And it goes out of play. And it's looking like here that Ronaldo and Portugal are going to be under some pressure to get a result against France now. It's looking very likely that one of these teams might finish maybe on 3 points. Here is Leroy Sané. Into the path of Kimmich. Back to Sané again. 4 minutes of additional time it was indeed. Might be a chance to get a 5th goal in this game and really put the damage into these Portuguese players ahead of their last game against France. And there's going to be a chance here for Goretzka. Plays the ball out onto the left-hand side. It comes towards Sané. Brilliant touch from Sané. Just can't get the ball. It's lobbed back in again by Halstenberg. And the cross in the end is just a little bit too heavy and out of play for a goal kick. As Jogi Löw watches on. I think he's quite happy, Jogi Löw. He'll be absolutely delighted. And Fernando Santos will be fuming with this performance. Especially after what was a brilliant win against Hungary. A big 3-0 win it was. But their goal difference could have been in tatters tonight. But we'll have to see, because Group F is going to be very exciting going into that last match day, with Germany pretty much going to be picking up a victory here. It's going to be Rafa Silva coming forward at the halfway line. Free kick given to Portugal. And they'll want to take it quickly with the 2 minutes left of the game. But it's going to be very exciting indeed, because Germany have got the better of the 3 sides you want to play. And France, after their game, they're going to want to have to bounce back. So 2 teams that need to bounce back. And as Kyle said, that Portugal-France game will be a very interesting game to end the group stages. As we go and get, I think, a Portugal throw-in. And they have worked their socks off tonight. They have worked their socks off. They have been absolutely exceptional. And Louis asked, cracking stream again. Thank you so much, Louis. You're a legend, mate. What food is lined up tonight? I'm not going to lie, mate. I don't think I'll be having anything to eat, if I'm honest with you. Usually, I tend to usually have a meal a day. And I had a meal early on today. It was a chicken wrap with some lettuce, some salad, some mayonnaise, some chips. And that kind of fills me up for most of the day. So, whether I actually have anything or not, I don't know. But I probably don't think I will. If I do, it'll probably be while Kale's streaming the Poland match. But I'm feeling if I was to have anything, it might be some fish and chips. Because I haven't had fish and chips in a long time. But there might be a chance here for Portugal to get 1 goal back before the end of the game. It's going to be Ronaldo driving forward. Ball play to Andre Silva. Brilliant block in the end by Nicolas Soul. Neuer punches. He's absolutely wiped out Rudiger in the process. Good to see Rudiger's alright in the end. And with 35 seconds left, it's looking like this game here is going to be 4-2 to Germany. And no little consolation goal at the end there for Portugal. As, yeah, we've got another game coming up, as I said. Spain v Poland. Coming up in about an hour's time. Obviously, the lineups will go through a little bit later on this evening with Kieran. But corners lobbed in by Martinho. Comes towards the near post. On the line. Muller's going to try and get the ball. It's going to be Goretzka who tries to clear. He's hoofed away. And in the end, it's going to be another corner, which they're not going to get. And that will be it. As the whistle is blown on what is the best game of the Euro so far. When world-class talent collides, the Germans come out on top, of course. It was a brilliant, brilliant game. A 6-goal thriller, which all started with a goal for Cristiano Ronaldo from a counter-attack from a Germany corner. And then the floodgates opened wide for Germany to go and bag goals in the game. The first goal came from, it was actually Ruben Dias' own goal, which has been credited to. Germany flicked ball in from Gosens, touched by Havertz, didn't actually get the touch in the end. It was Dias who got the touch. Own goal went for him. The second goal, it came down the right-hand side this time. It was Kimmich with a crossed ball into the box. A touch from the left leg of Rafael Guerreiro went into the back of the net for the second goal of the game. Kai Havertz got his second goal of the match once again. A lovely, lovely finish early on in the second half. Before Robin Gosens got on the score sheet himself with a near post header. A brilliant, brilliant finish. And then, of course, we did get that second goal for Portugal. Diogo Jota with I'm going to say a fantastic finish. It was just a goal from the, 2 yards out, I'd say, from the near post. Simple finish on a moment where Germany switched off. But it was a game that had drama, left, right and centre. And it will be a match that will be definitely remembered for a long time after this competition is finished. An all-important win for Germany that puts them in the driving seat. And most importantly, puts them on the marker, because we didn't see much of them in that game between France a few days ago. But what it has done now is it's opened everybody's eyes that Germany are here to play. And it's going to be brilliant to see them, of course, in their game against Hungary in a few days' time. As for the other match, of course, we will be seeing Portugal against France. What a game that is going to be. Both teams have a lot on the line, especially Portugal, because 3 points might not be enough, and we could see them maybe knocked out of the competition. Who knows? We'll have to find out. But as I said before, we've got more games still to come this evening. Lots of action on the way. Of course, Portugal-Germany is now all done and dusted. So we can move on to the next match of the night, which is going to be with Mr. KL. You can join him for Spain versus Poland. We'll also be able to join Kieran Ellen Rowan for Italy-Wales and Switzerland-Turkey. That will be tomorrow from 4:50. Then on, I think it's Monday, we've got North Macedonia-Netherlands up against Ukraine and Austria. That is at 4:50 with myself. Finland-Belgium alongside Russia v Denmark. That's in Group B. You can join us from 10 to 8 on the 21st of June for that one. And then, of course, Czech Republic, England, as well as Croatia against Scotland. That's on the 22nd of June. You can join myself and Rowan for those games. And as we said before, the other game coming up tonight, lineups are out for it. Is that game between Spain v Poland. Kale is covering that match. We'll be live in about an hour's time for that. I'll be joining him a little bit, probably jumping in every once in a while to cover that game. But the lineups are out. We'll talk about them a little bit more on the stream later on tonight, because time is of the essence. But do check out our social media as always. Our Twitter is @the_top corner, and our Instagram is _sportscorner_. Do go and check those out if you haven't already, to see when we do go live on our channel with all of the content. But as for now, thank you very much to those of you that have joined the stream. If you are new, as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. Hopefully Spain v Poland's good tonight. But as they always say, the Germans always win, don't they? Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later on. Good night.